Okay, well, I decided I'm going to do another video here and kind of just look at all aspects of the game. I was going to start this out by just showing the Manglers and what they can do, but right now they're kind of the strongest light weapon. There's also the Sting, which I think is just kind of out of the picture at the moment with its small window of hit and lack of kind of damage. I think they were trying to protect how much damage that would do with being out of sight and being able to use it. Something like aphids from WR or something but it's just missing the use of it now. And then there's the Tormentors is the other light weapon, and at a long distance it does okay. It's still kind of lacking the main purpose of it to be able to pick out a certain weapon or body part and take that out with it. That still hasn't been implemented in this beta yet. So the Manglers, like a machine gun, are really the only light weapon left. And a few people have asked, like, you don't really ever say anything about tactics and stuff. Well, when you're playing the Nellies, the Nelly or the Mite, the spider bots, they have several different tactics. Basically, keep your nose down and get your shots off when you can. The javelin that I just shot right there is probably its worst enemy. You're constantly getting hit by javelins, someone trying to shoot over the top of something with the javelin to get you. But with the Manglers on there, like the big giant bot and the medium bots, they just take massive damage from these when you're up close. And you'll see here a few times through this video that I do probably 9,000 or more with one volley on some of these big bots. Alright, so what exactly are some of the tactics in this game? And kind of did a joke video a little bit ago about it, where there was an error in the game and you had no damage going for a little while. But there is some tactics. Anything like the Nelly here using these Manglers, the key to them is always shoot down. You do not ever want an opponent up on you. You always want to be shooting down because that does the most damage. And it's something kind of like the issue in the elevations of the game. There's the big bot, the Turpex. Exactly how do you pronounce that thing? I'm not even sure. Yeah, Turpitz, I think is how it's pronounced. But anyhow, it has a flaw, especially its main big center weapon won't shoot down. So you always want to keep your target above you. The medium MAO center weapon, kind of the same thing. The upper weapon, you always want to keep your target above you, shoot with it. Some of these are just key factors of how you're going to do the best damage with these robots. Like this right here, me shooting down on him at a close range, I just do major damage, and I don't know, at this point it looks like I'm missing a weapon or something, but there's all these little key tactics of gameplay. Now these spider bots have other problems. There's kind of common things we've seen before in other games, like the Griffin or something in Walking War robots. That you jump at certain places, you get caught on hooks or you don't go anywhere. Well, there's the same thing with these. You gotta be careful. There's nothing near you on the sides or anything else. You go nowhere, and drives you nuts. Beginning of the game on the drop, like I'm about to drop right now, all the AI come in, hangs you up and stuff, and holds you up, and it's almost killed one of my bots a few times by not being able to move. And then when I can move, I get zapped by all the long distance before I can even get to the position I'm trying to get to. So all these things have to be just factors kept in mind, and hopefully also bugs are going to get straightened out with some of these things. And so we'll go from there and watch more of the Mangler activity and take a pause here. Alright, so let's kind of talk about the Nelly a little bit. That's the bot that you're seeing right now. It has a javelin, and right now I have 4 Manglers on it. Now you can change that up. You can put 2 Manglers, 2 Tormentors, or 2 Manglers and 2 Sting, which actually worked pretty good, but now those other weapons kind of throw it off. You want short distance or long distance, one or the other, where also the Sting right now, just like I said, is kind of out of the picture. So it was a good combo of having maybe Manglers and Sting before. Now that's kind of out of the picture. I think, at least my opinion, I wouldn't touch on it until we got back into par with something else like these. But one of the troubles with the Manglers is you always got to be facing down to hit your target. So you'll see this farther along in the video. We had a little lag shot right there, but you always want to face your character down when you're shooting and shoot in an upward direction. If you kind of shoot above him, you're going to always be missing. So you always want to point him down, and that goes for the Might too. Both of them have that kind of flaw. You always have to have the direction down below the target before you do all your damage to it, or all the hits will hit your target. And in a few minutes here, we're going to be up in another area. You can see the damage you can do to these big bots. And the key is keeping that pointed below him to shoot above your sights. And that's how just really the Might are kind of set up. But their biggest advantage is, of course, how well they can climb and things. Now you can get stuck in places in between here and there, these 2 points, and get yourself stuck. And tricky to get up on these things, and the jump sometimes makes it real tricky because you end up going nowhere but a foot because you hit an edge of something and go nowhere. So you got to play wisely in the way of how you play the bot. Now you're coming up to an area where he's going to be able to face down on some of these big bots and blast them. Now the AI's kind of changed. I don't know if they're messing with it a little bit, but the AI seems to be hiding over here by their spawn a lot more. This is where their spawn is. So this is like a spawn rape area because they're just all hiding here. They're not coming out, and it seems to be more kind of popular deal they're doing right now with the AI at this point. And I know many times I'll see them sit there outright hide from my bot behind something or even just move just enough out of distance from whatever weapon I'm using. But see, here's the big bot there taking damage, and you gotta face down on him, because if you're above him, if you face above on him, all those shots will be missed. And you can see the more damage the bigger bots take as you are up closer. I think that last one was like a 9,000 volley or something. But it goes back and forth how much you're hitting walls or not faced properly right. I think I'm talking about. See, right now I'm level with him. He's getting farther out, so he's going to do less damage. But all these are part of the little tactics of the game. The closer they are with this weapon, you'll do more damage. Now for them, it's the opposite. They want to be shooting at where I'm standing up with his main gun, be able to hit you. And here in a few minutes, here I'm going to be. No, we're going to switch to the Might right now, and it's the same, similar spider bot, but it also has the EPM, which is a kind of game changer. But right now the light bots are just a little bit too weak and flimsy, and the worst thing with this bot is you take about anybody even looks at you, your legs broke and you can't jump, and it drives me nuts. I mean, it definitely needs more strength in the legs, and it's not from my own doing, because I have something like 3 or 4 upgrades on armor, and it still just one shot or something, his leg's broken, you're not jumping anywhere. And I hope that's something they resolve before this comes out live. But of course, we all have our own opinions. That's one of my opinion pet peeves I hate about it. But the EPM stops them in place, and you can really nail a target that way, and keeps I think the chance of a certain bot getting out of control and taking over the game versus any other bots. This is one of the factors that will stop that, because at any time in the game you can always have this bot out there stopping somebody in their tracks if they're trying to do a dash or jump or fly or something else. So I think this is a big key in the game, but the bot just needs a little more strength here to be able to keep his jump and stuff, at least for the spider bot. Now the Sean, it doesn't have that so much of an issue as the spider bot does, with getting a leg broke immediately and can't jump. But they all have their own goods and bad sides. The little bots right now are just a little too flimsy, probably because of these Manglers just are tearing up things right now, where the other weapon's a little bit out of par comparison. But you know, everybody has their own opinions on that, and some people will argue totally with me that they think it's balanced. So it's all in each individual's take of the game. But the trick with him is keeping out of sight and he can get within 100 meters and hit them with the EPM with the right settings. And in fact, a little bit over 100 meters. So, you know, you stop somebody dead in their tracks at 100 meters, you can really get a good volley off on them while they're trying to get their weapons directed the right way or something, and be out of the picture before they can react. And it's not just one target. You know, you got your teammates back there shooting at things. Anything within that 100-meter radius is all affected by the EPM and stopped for the few seconds and basically a stun. So that's the situation with the Mite or the Sean, both that have that particular ability to stun with the EPM. Now, I know I've talked about some of the skills and things a little bit, but all of them depends on each person's play style, what they're going to go with, damage, protection from certain weapon types, and I think, you know, all of us always go for kind of damage first, which is what I usually aim for, is what my damage is going to do first versus how much protection. That's my play style. But anyhow, we're going to go through pretty much all the bots on this video just to see a whole game with all different combinations. Now we're going to go with the long distance, but there's a few tricks with this guy too, so I'll continue in a minute with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the MAO. Right now I got the Javelin on him. That weapon's the only weapon you can have right now. But his medium weapon is the hammer. You could have the missiles, which the Sarissa just are not in aspect to other weapons, basically. And a number of these weapons aren't really actually doing what they're listed as. Like the Sarissa is listed to go 1,000 meters. Well, they only go 500. The Sting listed from 0 to 300, but they only go between 100 and 250, which is a part of the flaw, I think, that's with those right at the moment. But anyhow, one of the characters' perks to this guy is you can kind of build up his speed pretty quick and run a lot with him, and moves along pretty good. Well, with the 3 hammers versus the 2 the big bot has, we're going to see what happens when you can use that to your advantage. Now, here comes the big bot now. Well, it takes a minute, but like I said, you always want to kind of keep those targets above you when you have these weapons for either one of these 2 bots. But there's another problem. The Inquisitor is the main weapon for the big bot. Well, pretty much about 100 or so meters it won't hit you either. So between this and anybody that's using the Sting, you want to rush them. Get up tight and close to him because he can't use their weapons on you. And the Sting, the same thing, anything under 100 meters. So you rush these guys, and right now I got 3 hammers versus his 2 attacking him. And the javelin, which probably may not hit this close, but I'll just outdo him with the hammers. So these are part of the tactics of things that are the way the game's working. The large weapon won't hit close up, or they won't shoot down very well. So this is another aspect with the male, one method you can take. Now, of course, at long distance, you usually want to stay a distance from them. Now I'm going to go with the large bot myself. Now, I think you can see there's only there's 1 bot left in the game against me. And, it's pretty slow pace going with this guy, but it's the same thing. I want to really keep this guy at a distance from me with this bot. And especially with a wide spread, the closer they get, even the hammers have trouble getting them, especially a little bot comes running under your legs. But in a few minutes here, it's going to take a little bit, but I'll get back to that last bot. But the Inquisitor does really heavy damage, so you want that weapon to work at your advantage. So you always want to keep them above you or equal level, and it's almost a shame you can't get up on the top of the hill and really use it and do damage unless they're way out there and almost level with you. But you'll see here, vice versa. What I just had, I had the MAO against the big bot. Now I'm the opposite right here, but you can still use a tactic to take this guy out, and that tactic is use that Inquisitor to be your damage, because that's what really does something. Now, he kind of caught me by surprise being right here in this corner I was going to go through, and my wide weapons, the hammers, can't shoot through there, so I'm at a disadvantage with that. But the hammer, or the Inquisitor, did go through there. So my advantage now is to let it reset. He should have been charging and been right up on top of me like I had done. But this is AI playing against me, and plus even regular players don't do that kind of thing. They don't realize. So anyhow, here's kind of different aspects of the game, and some of the people are asking about some of the tactics and stuff. So hopefully this gives some of the tactics with a few of the bots here and what we're using. Talk to you next time.